Mining and power generating company Neyveli Lignite Corporation recently declared that it had been unable to add around 1500 megawatt of power to grid in Tamil Nadu, which would have been crucial to ease the crisis in the electricity-starved state. NLC points its finger at BHEL, which is both a boiler supplier and an engineering procurement and construction contractor. NLC is one of the major suppliers of electricity to Tamil Nadu, which procures 1,170 megawatt of the company's total output of 24,090 megawatt generated from 3 of its thermal power stations in the state.
Neyveli Lignite Corporation says that BHEL's delay in delivering equipment for a power plant is as much as 45 to 50 months. TNEB cites this as one of the reasons why its firm has bled at least Rs 5,000 crore in power revenues. NLC is one of the major suppliers of electricity to Tamil Nadu, which procures 1,170 megawatt of the company's total output of 2,490 megawatt generated from 3 of its thermal power stations in the state. NLC is not alone. National Thermal Power Corporation and many state governments such as Rajasthan have also come down heavily on BHEL over project delays. A recent report from Central Electricity Authority says that BHEL has failed to meet the deadline in 9 of the 17 thermal projects that were to be commissioned last financial year. What could be the reason for such consistent failure in meeting deadlines? BHEL says that its scope in any of these power projects is only 45 to 50%. BHEL is responsible for boiler turbines while the balance of plant is handled by others. According to Morgan Stanley research, 61% of country's power capacity has been installed by BHEL via orders placed by central and state utilities. But recently, with the advent of more Indian and foreign firms competing for projects, there has been a noticeable change in the power equipment landscape. BHEL had a market share of 65% in the boiler turbine generator space. This reduced to 40% last financial year.
The bidding for NTPC bulk order illustrated that the domestic private sector can bid aggressively. BHEL is also facing stiff competition from Chinese players, especially with many power project developers placing orders with companies from China. To talk on this, we've been joined by Mr. V Shahi, former Secretary Power, and Mr. Yoshiaki Inayama, MD of Toshiba JSW Turbine and Generator Private Limited. Mr. Shahi, first of all, I'd like to ask you, many power projects could not be commissioned due to delay in equipment supply from BHEL. As CEA's recent report says that BHEL has failed to meet the deadline in 9 of the 17 thermal power projects that were to be commissioned in the last financial year.
No, I think CEA's assessment is correct. In fact, in the advisory committee meeting which is chaired by the Power Minister, Shri Sushil Kumar Shinde, in which I am also there and a few other power secretaries who retired are there. We were reviewing it very regularly, once almost every 3 months, and BHEL chairman himself is a member on that advisory committee. And we kept emphasizing that BHEL has huge orders. In fact, order book position of BHEL in the last 2-3 years has improved substantially, and even though they have increased their manufacturing capacity in Trichy and Haridwar, to match with the order book position, they need to do a lot more. Their shipping logistic, their transportation logistic, and their construction strategy, selection of erection agencies, all these are required to be toned up to keep in pace with the type of orders that they have. Otherwise, if they don't do, plan after plan, this type of problem will be there. Even though we do say there could be some quality issues here and there with reference to Chinese supply, but I have seen the supply schedule of Chinese manufacturers, the erection schedule and erection capability which they organize is far superior. So there are some plus points which BHEL needs to sort of internalize and needs to adapt from some of the agencies from outside which have done outstanding work insofar as construction, erection and commissioning of power projects is concerned.
BHEL has a reputation of being a very efficient company, but it has been drowning in the sea of orders, something that inevitably causes delay. Though its capacity has increased to 20,000 megawatt from 15,000 megawatt in 2010, but on supply front, it has been delaying continuously. But BHEL says it is beyond their control. What do you have to say?
No, see, what is beyond control of BHEL is perhaps the construction and equipment erection agencies that they tie up. On many occasions, BHEL plants get also delayed because of balance of plants. Sometimes balance of plants belong to them in terms of contracting. Sometimes balance of plants may not be under their jurisdiction or scope. So, it is both. We cannot say that every BHEL plant is delayed because of BHEL. Of course, there are many BHEL supplied plants which are being delayed. But then what about those projects where balance of plants were belonging to somebody else, like coal handling and ash handling system and others, or chimneys? In fact, at BHEL level, they should not be selecting the erection agencies basically on the lowest cost basis. I have seen personally in many cases that they end up with selecting construction and erection agencies who, in order to get the job, quote unreasonably low rates, and later on BHEL, being a public sector company, is not able to improve the situation, and that creates a lot of problem during construction erection. Of course, this problem is besides the problem of scheduled delivery of supplies from various factories of BHEL.
Mr. Inayama, many power projects could not be commissioned in 11th five-year plan due to delay in equipment supply. Power PSUs mostly award the lowest bidder the equipment contracts. Do you feel, along with price, the timely delivery of the power plant equipment should also be considered while contracting an award so that projects are commissioned as per the schedule?
India has added around 55,000 megawatt capacity in the 11th five-year plan. This is about 2.5 times the capacity added in the 10th FYP. This is a good beginning. Timely delivery of the equipment and commissioning of the power projects is the must to ensure the sustainable growth of Indian GDP and power sector. Liquidated damage clause for delay is included all the Indian contracts. It will be a good idea to give bonus to the bidders who complete the project ahead of schedule. Toshiba has a track record of more than 6 decades for timely supply and commissioning of high-quality power plant projects. We are confident to serve and be a part of Indian economic growth.
Mr. Inayama, with so many JVs in power plant equipment manufacturing segment in place, how do you visualize the power plant equipment market in coming years, as BHEL had a market share of 65% in the boiler turbine generator space, but it has reduced to 40% in the last financial year?
Fair competition is good for the industry and bring out the best for the customer. BHEL was the single largest supplier in India. At present, India requires accelerated growth and capacity addition in the power sector. That is where the contribution and competition is required for many equipment suppliers like Toshiba JSW, L&D, MHI, BGR Hitachi, and others.
Mr. Inayama, lastly, I'd like to ask you, what is the present production capacity of Toshiba JSW plant producing supercritical steam turbine and generator? And what are your future expansion plans?
We have already secured the orders from NTPC for Kudugi 3 units of 800 megawatts and Meja 2 units for 660 megawatts, which were part of the bulk tenders for 9 by 800 megawatts and 11 by 660 megawatts. Toshiba has already kick-started all the activities for executions of these contracts. We are actively participating for other projects from not only NTPC but also SABs and IBPs, looking to increase our market share and establish ourselves in the supercritical power equipment business.
Thanks Mr. Inayama and Mr. Shahi for joining us in Power News.